What is going on, everyone? Who wants to take a look at Arizona again? Venture on down to the Tucson, Arizona way. The Old Pueblo is one of its nicknames, and I don't know if anyone really actually still calls it the Old Pueblo, but that's on the books as its nickname. The Tucson area was first visited by Paleo Indians about 12,000 years ago. They were all incredibly lean and in good shape because they were on the paleo diet, I imagine. A recent archaeological site near the Santa Cruz River found remains of a village dating back to about 2100 BC. That's a long time ago. The 2010 census put the population around 520,000 residents, with the estimated population of the entire Tucson metropolitan area being almost 1 million people at 980,000 people. No word how many are currently on the paleo diet. Tucson is a very interesting town. It has good people and a lot of things to do. It is located southeast-ish of Phoenix, not too far from the Mexican border town of Nogales, and Tombstone, Arizona isn't too far down the road either. Tucson is where Wyatt Earp killed Frank Stillwell, who was one of the men who killed his brother Morgan Earp. If you ever saw the great movie Tombstone, Morgan got shot in one of the bars while playing pool. Well, apparently that really happened, and they weren't sure who it was, but someone ratted out like these 4 dudes, and Wyatt Earp went and dispatched quite a few of them. And one of them he found on the train tracks in Tucson, shot him dead. Tucson has so much history. I'd like to do a whole video on just the history of Tucson. It's really interesting. Tucson has a lot going for it. Most of its problems are related to Mother Nature and local government. The people are great, and there's no denying that. If you're looking for a desert town with great people, Tucson may be the place. Before you do something like jump on the Amtrak and head to the Old Pueblo, you should watch my top 10 reasons not to move to Tucson, Arizona. Number 10. They're kind of light on the freeways. Interstate 10 goes right through Tucson, sort of north-south, and the 19 ends in South Tucson. There's no other real freeway. There's no east-west cross-town freeway, nothing like that. That's sort of strange for such a big city with a lot of open space. Some Tucson drivers have about a 32-minute daily commute. That means they're spending an extra 56 hours in traffic a year. That's more than 2 days every single year stuck in gridlock, and it's always hot there. So that's never fun. Number 9. Pesky wildlife. On any given day, you can be confronted by one of the following. Lizards that seem to get in your house like mosquitoes get into someone's house any other place. Freaking tarantulas. Scorpions, bats, or a University of Arizona drunk 20-year-old. All of them are irritating, and most people would prefer to live their lives without ever seeing one. I don't know what it is about the University of Arizona college students, but they bring drunken stupidity to a new level. Almost every single one I've ever run into. Number 8. The electric bill. Like most desert cities, you're going to need to run that AC unit most of the year. This, of course, leads to an extra high electrical bill. Thank God solar power is coming along nicely. And stop typing. You need AC. If someone says you don't, they are delusional and you should stay away from them. They're not well. The national average for electricity is about $110 a month. In Tucson, it's about $137 a month. Now, compared to other places that don't get hot, that national average counts in all the really hot states. But if you look at something like, I don't know, Oregon or Wisconsin, their average electrical bill is close to $70 a month. Number 7. The schools. If you aren't worried about your child's education, move to Tucson. Area Vibe ranks the education system in Tucson with a big fat F, and I apologize if anyone feels like I'm body shaming the letter F. There are a total of 289 public schools, 72 private schools, and 21 post-secondary schools in Tucson. Using the national averages, the average test score in Tucson is about 32%. The average student-to-teacher ratio is about 18-1, and the Tucson, Arizona average for students that graduate in 8th grade is 81%. And getting out of high school, only about 79% of them get out of high school. The schools in Tucson are bad. Don't blame the teachers. It's budget issues. And in my opinion, it's budget issues caused by a very poorly run city. Number 6. Snowbirds. Like most cities in Arizona, every winter they get a heavy dose of snowbirds. If you aren't familiar with that term, it's what they call older, retired folks that head south for the winter. They live in places like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Washington, and when it starts to get cold, they get going south to get away from the snow and cold. Hence, snowbirds. Here's the thing. That's great. Move where you want. Live where you want. Enjoy your retirement. You earned it. But quit driving. Just stop driving. You're banging into people. You're knocking mirrors off of cars. It sucks. And quit doing things like writing checks for groceries, then striking up a 5-minute conversation with the checker while you got 8 people in line behind you. We got a life to live, cha-cha. get moving. Snowbirds are great for the economy, but they affect things like traffic and a whole myriad of other things going on in the city. Tucson gets hit pretty bad by the snowbirds. Number 5, the sun. Tucson is in the middle of the desert, in case you're unaware. The desert is harsh on a lot of things, mostly your skin. I harp on this one to no end, and I always will. I grew up in sunny California and probably know at least 20 people that have had some form of skin cancer over the years. One old pool man I know had to have part of his ear removed because of cancer. Because of cancer, not because he got in like a fight with a biker or he lost it in the war or a wood chipper or something like that. He lost it because he got too much sun on his ear. Protect yourself from the sun, everybody. Nobody wants skin that looks like they should be a extra on The Walking Dead or something like that. You know, nobody needs to look like a zombie at 25 years old. Tucson has far too many sunny days for this not to be on your list of things to buy. Sunscreen, sunblock, whatever you want to call it, skin regime, I don't care. Take care of your skin. Number 4, car insurance. If you move to Tucson, get good car insurance. Tucson had 2,500 cars stolen in 2018 and another 2,000 broken into. With no crosstown freeway, it has more people on the surface roads where most collisions occur. And then you have the snowbirds again. They drive cars that are too big, they have poor vision, and their reflexes are going. I'm getting up there in age, and I can tell you right now, my vision sucks, and I'm sure my reflexes have dipped. Get good car insurance or a good lawyer's number, whichever one you prefer. But you need these things in Tucson. Number 3, the economy. The economy in Tucson isn't the best right now. Currently, the unemployment rate is about 32% higher than the national average, and people that have jobs on average aren't getting paid that much. The income per capita is 30% lower than the national average. The poverty level in Tucson is about 66% higher than the national average. In other words, if you're moving to Tucson for a fresh start, and that fresh start includes looking for a job, don't try it in the old Pueblo. Any interview you get, they will know you're not a good decision maker just by showing up and telling them you moved from someplace else. Number 2, the drought. Tucson is in a perpetual state of drought. It's a desert, and I get it. I know. Stop typing. But currently, it's worse than almost ever before. Tucson's drinking water supply carries nearly 20% less water than it did in the year 2000. A recent study shown by using tree ring data as a proxy for drought conditions, the researchers say that the current drought ranks 4th worst among comparable 19-year periods for mega drought in the past 1,200 years. People need water. Tucson doesn't have much, and it's only going to get worse unless something drastic happens. And before we get to number 1, don't forget there's a little poll that will pop up in the top right of the video towards about 10 to 15 seconds left in the video. Answer the poll, help out with future videos. We just collect the data from it for future videos. Thanks for the help in advance. And number 1. Crime. Crime is bad in Tucson. There's a lot of sunburned, thirsty criminals roaming the streets of Tucson looking to steal your car or your Gatorade or both. The crime rates in this city are kind of shocking to someone like myself that knows quite a few people from Tucson. All the people I know from there are good family people that would not only invite you to a barbecue, but drive the 30 minutes to get you, and then 30 minutes take you back. Not like 30 minutes later they took me back, like I was only at the barbecue for 30 minutes. Oh, that's enough. We're tired of Briggs. Take him back. No, it was like later on that night, they drove 30 more minutes to take me home. Good people. The overall crime rate in Tucson is 121% higher than the national average. That's rough. Tucson is only safer than 4% of the cities in the United States. That means the only places that are above them are like East St. Louis, Detroit, Cleveland, places like that. That's kind of alarming. Those type of numbers that make people leave a city, you know? It really is a shame the crime rate is so high. It makes me feel bad for the good people of Tucson. It's really too bad. They need to fix that. Alright, so that's my top 10 reasons not to move to Tucson, Arizona. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so and ring that little bell next to it so you know when I'm uploading. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.